What's up, guys? This is Transformers Tuesday, and I have to apologize for my lack of videos lately. I've just been swamped with work. Picked up a cold because of the crazy weather here. Don't know if you watched the news. We had tornadoes coming through just the other night. And with this hot, cold, it's really bad for the sinuses. It's bad for business because I'm in the voiceover industry, so my throat gets messed up. I don't work. I thought for this Transformers Tuesday, I'd give you a little look at my collection, such as it is. I wouldn't consider myself a collector anymore. I really don't collect so much. Collector means you have to get everything and have a complete collection of stuff. I have very strict criteria for this kind of stuff. But I thought I'd give you a little tour of my office, the John Co. or in my studio and stuff, and show you what I've got. This is my studio. Little studio stuff I have in here. I got the awesome Aquatine / Squidbillies pick that's signed by pretty much most of the cast. My Masterpiece Voltron up here going word. My crayons hiding up here. A couple of small things in the back. There's a Universe Dragster up back there. Encore, Thundercracker and Skywarp 2-pack. Different Decepticons. Got a couple alternators. World's smallest Dinobots in there. That awesome signed badge from BotCon. It's got Peter Cullen, Neil Ross, Morgan Lofting, Kevin Michael Richardson's on there. Greg Berger. A bunch of signatures on that. So it is in complete disarray right now, but there's the ARC playset command center. I'll turn the light on here so you can see a little bit better. This is what I'll be using for the Transformers Generation 1 stop motion / articulated comic book style stuff. I went ahead and got 2 of these things. I've also got a third one coming, so I could make the dinosaur, the Dinobot cave, and as well as other stuff. Got a outdoor background with a blue screen here. And I got the Transformers First Edition Optimus Prime magnet up on my light. There's a little former Shockwave. I got that at my very first BotCon. Neil Kaplan was nice enough to do a cool little autograph picture for me. Got Bob Budiansky to sign my favorite issue of Transformers comics back in the day. And of course, George Lowe and Zorak signed this for me. Very, very nice of them to do so. I got my Comic-Con badge and my BotCon, trophy things, as well as my BotCon badge down there. So got that little setup. This is my green screen setup, which is fairly nice. Unfortunately, this room is 20 feet by 9 feet, so I can do videos. I can do videos full screen, but I have to back the camera way, way up in order to see my feet so I can put myself into a video. And as you can see, the lamps get in the way, so I have to do a lot of cropping and editing. These are the ones I use for videos. There's my Hot Toys Iron Man, Masterpiece stuff. There's my Sonicron Soundwave and my regular reissue. You can always tell the difference when they reissue. The buttons are raised. And I got that for, believe it or not, I got that for $1 at a thrift store. I'll use it for a video and give it to my kids. My Bane Build-A-Figure, a couple of stuff for Ravage's channel. My favorite version of Batman, the Azrael Batman. There's an action figure of me. I'm on this toy as well. And there's my Fans Project Rodimus Upgrade Doomaflachi. Yes, the same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world, but first Jonathan's head. So, anyways, this is my old Pinky and the Brain Hat. I used to love that show. There's my handful of crayons in here. There's my reissue Omega Supreme with the kind of a face. I use this for my Masterpiece Theater parody stuff. It makes for a great background for stop motion type stuff. So this is my daughter's playset. And her room is so full of stuff, we had to find a place to put it. And I figured while I was in here, I might as well make some videos out of it. This is my ARC, which will be used for the stop motion series / articulated comic book style stuff. I made that with the paper backgrounds that I printed off from, I believe it was TFCon. Eventually I'll have the entire Mount St. Hilary and have that sticking out of the back. Will make a great background. There's all my box full of prizes stuff. Like I said, I don't really collect this stuff so much anymore. I want to review. I do the voice of Anakin on that Quad Changer. I want to review that. And the rest of the stuff, the Mortal Kombat figures will be used for videos, stop motion videos. The rest of these are pretty much prizes. Everything down there on the floor is going to be prizes, eventually, if it's not already. There is my kids' collection of animated. I made sure that they got every single figure. I think I'm only missing Blackout and the black version of Rodimus and the Nemesis. Actually, I've got Motormaster, but I've got pretty much an entire collection of them for the animated stuff. I want to box it up and save it for them when they get 18 or so and they're wise enough to invest with it or whatever. I want to give the whole thing to them. And a couple other things, Paul Eiding signed the Perceptor box back there. I did the trailer on Insidious, a couple of trailers on Insidious, which is cool. And the Comic-Con G.I. Joe Transformers, and I figured I'd use that for a video. Clone Troopers helmet that I did the voice for signed. I got the alternators and Human Alliance stuff, and my favorite figure ever, Shockwave. And again, there's more prizes and stuff to review, and there's a box of Marvel Universe DC figures, so whatever down there. And then there's a box of Transformers stuff for videos down there. It has to be something that I want to pass down to my children, or I can resell and make it pay for itself. And I have to be able to make a video out of it as a review or as a stop motion, something funny, something to where it basically pays for itself. And I'll make a video with it and I'll just resell it, or I'll put it in storage for my kids. I strictly get Transformers for YouTube these days, and it's very, very rare I even find anything I want. I find it on sale, I find it loose, I find it at secondhand stores, I find it at thrift stores, I find it at Goodwill, Salvation Army. There's a place called Dirt Cheap, which is basically what it sounds like. They buy broken down trailers. Human Alliance Jazz, which is pretty much complete except for one window. I got this whole thing for, I believe it was $1. But, you know, $1. I can make a video with that and give it to my kids when I'm done with it so they can play with it. I have 4 kids. Trolls are like, you're too old to be playing with toys. I bet you live in the basement with your mom. You know, I do this for kind of a hobby, but it's kind of a job now, too, because I'm a partner on YouTube. I make videos with these things. And I don't sit on the floor and play with them and do pew pew bang bang and make sound effects and make up my own little stories. I do that in the floor with my 4 children. 12 years this summer, I will be married. And my wife tolerates this, but she understands it's not a hobby. I don't have this massive collection. I don't have this huge rack of figures. I don't have a house full of toys on every shelf. In fact, that's not really a shelf. That's just, it's a dresser with some toys stacked on it. And I'm about to... Anything I use for videos I leave out. Everything else goes into storage. And I have very, very little in storage right now. And I have the rest of the stuff, I buy the stuff for you guys. I find a good deal like these. I got a good deal on these for Toys R Us, so I'm going to be giving away some junk heaps pretty soon. And all this, the reveal the Shield stuff and the Transformers Prime, I just happened to find some good deals on it. So I thought, you know, somebody online might not be able to find this, and I could give it away as a prize. You know, I just don't do this as a hobby anymore. I make videos as a hobby, and I don't collect these, so to speak. And I certainly don't get on the floor and play with them or run around the room and I mean, I may make sure they work. I'll transform them once to make sure nothing breaks, so I can take it back to the store and replace it with one that's in good shape, because you can't make a stop motion video with a broken figure. And I've always been fascinated with stop motion. I don't think that's something just for kids. I've been fascinated with stop motion ever since I saw Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer as a little kid. And I just think that's a very unique and creative form of art, that you make a story with inanimate objects and make them move. I think that's very cool. I liked Nightmare Before Christmas and Corpse Bride and Coraline and all the other movies. Same reason. It's not because they're creepy and because I'm emo. I just think that style of animation is very, very cool. And the rest of the stuff, I do it because it's funny. You know, that Barbie thing makes a funny background. Makes people laugh. My whole purpose on YouTube is to make people laugh, or to entertain folks. So I got this loose. I think I found it on sale for $12. It's normally $40, something like that. I mean, I made a pretty heck of a deal on it. I might as well use it. This thing is perfect for stop motion. I mean, look, it's got fully articulate fingers. Perfect for making a stop motion video. It's all about entertainment. For the sake of comedy and for the sake of people that want something interesting to see on the internet. That's the only reason why I still buy this stuff. And so I can have some prizes to give away to you guys. And I don't care if they say that I'm, you know, ripping somebody else off. Look, everybody making something that has to do with Transformers, they're ripping on the same thing. We're all basing what we make on the same franchise. Of course, there's going to be some similarities. So, I mean, we don't own the rights to this stuff. We bought this stuff, and we're making something interesting out of it for people to watch. And if they don't want to watch, they can stop watching. If you didn't want to watch this video, you should have stopped watching a long time ago. People are going to give me heck about this too. I've got an entire collection of Powerpuff Girl stuff, all mint in the package, never been opened. I want to give that to my daughters for their graduation present. I know that seems like probably give them something else too, but so my parents didn't have anything for me when I got older to pass down. They didn't have a collection of stamps or a collection of coins or anything. No old baseball cards. My dad gave me one Buffalo nickel. That's all I got. He didn't really have anything else to collect. My grandfather gave me an old World War II cologne bottle. It looks like a Jeep, and it was empty, but it was all completely ceramic, and it was pretty cool. That was something. I mean, I'd like to be able to do that for my kids and my grandkids. I'd have something cool to hand down to them. What if Transformers doesn't exist when I have grandkids? Lord willing that I have grandkids. You know, if that happens, I want to say, hey, look, there's this cool thing I had when I was a kid, and I've been saving it for you, and I'd like you to have it. And they can do it. If they want to throw it in the trash can, play with it, whatever. It'd be something for them. I had fun with it when I was a kid. This is a huge part of my life. I know it seems ridiculous, but not because it's a toy, but because this was an inspiration to me. It was two toys in one. My mother walked me down the aisle at the Target, and Transformers had just been released as toys. And she said, "Look, you can pick this one, or that one." My parents were extremely conservative, so Hulk was or not Hulk, He-Man was out of the question. G.I. Joe and Transformers were my only two choices. So I looked at what was on the shelf. I said, well, I can get this little army guy with a bunch of parts that'll probably get lost or broken, or I can play with this toy that turns not into just a robot, it turns into a car too. And I figured I'm getting two toys for the price of one, so I picked Transformers. And because I'd already heard Peter Cullen on Voltron, and then I heard him again on Transformers, I was just so fascinated with the voices of the characters. And I started noticing how Ironhide sounded like the same guy that did the voice of Optimus Prime. I started noticing that more than one voice actor did more than one character. So this stuff was an inspiration on how I ended up in the voiceover business to begin with. So my kids play with it, and I play with them. We make up stories. I have an autistic son, and he relates to this. Sometimes the only way to get him to calm down or to get him to be able to do what we want him to do in order for him to be safe, is to pull an Optimus Prime voice out of nowhere, and he'll listen to that instead of listening to me. Sometimes he just doesn't want to hear Daddy. So I'll give you a prime example. Prime example. Prime example is there was one day he was having a really hard time, and he didn't want to buckle a seatbelt in the van. And as everybody knows, it's illegal pretty much everywhere not to drive around with a seatbelt on, especially if you're a child in the van. Not only is it illegal, it's not safe. If something had happened, he could have gotten severely hurt, and he was just completely out of control, and I could not get him to sit down and put a seatbelt on. So I took a step back. I said, well, let's try a different approach. So I stopped using my normal voice, and I said, Zachary, you must put on your seatbelts in order to defeat the Decepticons. And immediately he calmed down. I mean, he went from night to day and night. It was a complete difference. His attitude before, and he just calmed down. He said, yes, sir, Optimus Prime. And he put a seatbelt on, and he buckled up, and he was fine. And it gives us, it's like an invisible bond between him and I. And in fact, I posted on a thread once on a Transformer site that about a link between, I know there's not a physical link that you can see, but there seemed to be a link with Transformers and a lot of people that had a lot of males at least that had autism. A lot of guys with Asperger's. It was how they transformed the feeling of the plastic, because it's a lot of autism has to do with sensory stuff, and with some of it was the music. There was a lot of different reasons why Transformers appealed to autistic kids or people, and that gives me hope that my son eventually will be able to learn how to function normally in society, so he's not a danger to himself or to others. So it gives us something in common, and it's something I can still watch with my kids that I kind of still enjoy. I look back and they watch the old episodes, and I laugh because the animation's so bad or the stories are so cheesy. But my kids seem to like it. They have the same look on their face, that I did have when I was a kid. So it's just something we have in common. And my wife actually, she understands. She's like, I can see how this has been a big part of your life and how it got you, through. My brothers were much, much older than I am. My brothers are 8 and 11 years older than I am. I had nobody else to play with. I had hardly any neighbors. And my neighbor was in football, and I wasn't, because we went to a private school that didn't have enough people for a football team. So I had to play by myself. So a lot of this creative ability, the creative writing that I put into my stories, that I use for videos, doing the voices, doing the impressions, all that's pretty much, a lot of it hinged on this franchise. So thank you, Hasbro and Takara. Anyways, I'm not an uber nerd. I don't know the name of every single character. I wished I did. I'm sorry. I don't have this enormous collection of stuff that's worth billions of dollars. I have fairly new stuff. I don't. I'm a fan of the show. I like the comic books a little bit. I don't collect tons of comic books. In fact, I don't collect comic books at all. I still read a few. I have some Walking Dead graphic novels in here. That's about it. So I mean, it's not a hobby for me anymore. It's not a job either. It's just something I do for fun, and it's something I do for my kids for later on, and maybe even my grandkids. I mean, what grandkid would not want to get something from their granddaddy from when he was a kid that was just something totally unique that they'd never seen before? And who knows, this stuff may be worth something one day, and my kids could cash it in, help them pay for college, or at least buy them decent car or something. Who knows? So, you know, there's more than one reason why people collect these kind of things. And it's not just what's the difference between doing Transformers and stamps or coins or baseball cards or any other hobby? It's just a hobby. It's nothing permanent. If my house burned down tomorrow, it was just a bunch of plastic. No harm done. I'm not going to cry about it and try to recoup all my losses. You know, it's stuff to help make entertaining videos for you guys, and it's stuff to give to my kids later on, and, you know, maybe resell, make a few bucks if it's not something I'm interested in giving my children, or, you know, give it to you guys. A lot of this stuff's going to end up being prizes, so stay tuned for more prizes stuff, and get those captions in, because it's 31st, that contest is over. Anyways, hope you guys have a great Tuesday. Transformer Road out. What up?